Hello, everybody. By everybody, I mean David. I just realized I don't think David will ever know of the fuckers in David. Did I ever tell him about that? Because I'm pretty sure that was in a video that was lost in my hard drive failure. But Anna, for a while, started doing her intro. If you don't know, the old Cat Bear channel intro was, I would say, hello everyone, welcome to Gaming with Kitty and the Bear. That's Kitty. And Anna would say, sup? And I'd say, I'm the bear. And I kind of built that intro as kind of, I meant for it to, even the name of the channel, I kind of meant for it to seem like one of those, like, you know, silly radio show things. But for a while, she started saying, sup, fuckers. And then one time she said, sup, fuckers, and David. And then I said, and to me, that sounds like some sort of like weird, dish you'd be able to get in Scotland or something. Like, I'm gonna go up to the restaurant and get myself some fuckers and David. And then I can't remember exactly what she came up with, but I asked her which was which, like what the fuckers were and what the David were. And I believe what she came up with was fuckers were little bits of meat, and David was the curry. And like the fuckers were stewing in the David. I believe that's how it panned out. Oh dear. I know it was in Doorways, Holy Mountains of Flesh that happened. And I know I put up the first half of that Doorways chapter, the school chapter, but I can't remember if I ever had a chance to put up the chapter that was like, I know. Stop that. The chapter that was like in the mansion, because that's where that happened. Alright. Oh, that's so pretty. That's just so pretty. There's an item over there. I remember. That's something I remember that drive me crazy when I played that as a kid, because you see that pretty early on, but it's quite a while before you get the grapple hook. I don't have time for your shit. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Aw. I need to go find my mothball. I suppose I got time now. There we go. Oh, hello. Nailed it. Yeah. I wonder if they put these little critters in purely as like a clever way to get you to allow you to restore some health in between areas. Seems about like what they'd be done to. Okay, I see my morph ball, but I know shit's gonna happen when I go down there. Isn't it gonna be like a big one of those digger dudes? No, just a bunch of little ones. I know you fight a big one at some point. I know you do. I think I might move my, oh, there's the big one. I might move my, sensor bar on top of the TV. I had it below, but I'm having to point a little lower than I would like. There's not enough time when he does that to get a missile in. So I just need to do that. Unless I get close to where he would be. Come on, do it. Why aren't you doing it? Yeah! Nice. Thought it wanted me to scan his butt for a second. There's only one entity in this game whose butt I would want to scan. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The space pirates. Oh. Do I have bombs yet? No. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, let's see here. I have a few places I could go. Yeah. I could. I believe right there. Yeah, I believe I tried to go through there and I needed the morph balls. Let's go. Wait, why am I black? That's probably just the lighting. black? Why do I look black? That's weird. I maybe shouldn't have done that. Because now I can't say. Yeah. Dad burned toxins.
Recording to logbook.
What's a runic symbol? Okay. Alright. Why I'm over here? Hey, ow. Ow. Play nice. Alright. Gotta take care of that. Hope that's permanent when I have to waste a missile every single time. Now, can I... No, I think I need my, ball bomb. My bomb ball. My bomb ball. Stop fogging up my shit. Yeah, save the game, baby. I just realized that some of my statements in the last episode are probably going to give people a lot of ambivalence. Because I can imagine someone watching it and like they're all nodding along with me. As I say, I didn't really see it as a big deal that there was a female protagonist. I didn't see her as any different, because I'm telling the truth, I didn't. You could maybe just chalk it up to me being a kid and not knowing anything, but I honestly didn't, you know, see it any different. But I feel that there's probably going to be two schools of thought when it comes to that. There's going to be people that, oh shit, see that as a good thing. Like, you know, okay, that's good. He didn't see the gender. He just saw an awesome protagonist. And that's, in my opinion, that's how it should be. That's the correct way of seeing it. That's the correct way of thinking about it. But then on the other side, I can't help but think there'll probably be people thinking that it was wrong of me not to recognize what a triumph it was or some shit like that. And then I imagine even some of the people that are happy that I didn't, you know, care about the gender. Do I shoot these? No. Get back in the hole. Get back in the hole. Back in the hole. I'm not black anymore. I think a black Samus would be hot. Anyway. Even the people that wouldn't see, you know, a problem with that, like, or that would be happy that I didn't see a problem with it, will then be pissed when I turn around and said that I don't see a problem with her being hot. So, oh well. Can't please everyone, you know. Yeah, I mean, and I get it in theory, you know. I get what people like that are getting at in theory. The idea that, you know, you make every game character be, you know, really, really slim, giant boobs, blah, blah, blah. And I get that, you know, it can make people that maybe don't look like that think, you know, well, you know, is that all there is? Like, is that all anyone's ever, is that all any guy would ever want? And that's not me. You know, I get that. I get that part in theory. But where I find a problem in it is when you say, like, oh, that sets, you know, an unrealistic standard. Maybe it does, but you're fucking full of shit if you don't want to acknowledge that people that look like that do exist. In the same way that people with, you know, those body types, there are plenty of people that don't fit those, fit that standard. There's plenty of people that do. And I just don't, I can't understand. I've never been, and I've been open. I want to make it clear that I've always been open to having discussions with people like this. Just, you know, they're not the kind of people that want to have a discussion. They're the kind of people that want to lecture you and then screech at you like a fucking banshee if you don't accept their lecturing. I'm always open to have any conversation and look at any point of view. But what I don't want to do is, if then my point of view doesn't line up with yours, you need to fucking accept that and not get pissed off about it. But anyway, I see you little fucker over there. No one's been able to ever explain it to me, and I've sought it out. I have listened to these people, and I've tried. Want to eat me? Oh yeah, I think I need to put my bomb in his mouth. Okay. But anyway, I've never been able to find a clear answer on why one body type is the unrealistic standard and another isn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that, like, the more far end body types, like, you know, for instance, the way some women would look in, like, some of them old Conan Barbarian comics and shit, I get that is, like, wholly unrealistic. You'd have to basically be half plastic and half anorexia to actually look that way. But beyond that, like just, you know, taking into account what I'm playing right now, someone with that looks like Samus, no, that is the way she looks, you know, in like the Zero suit and everything. No, that is not even remotely unrealistic. Okay? Not even remotely. And I don't really get it. I honestly don't get why one body type is the unrealistic standard and the other isn't. I've been out, you know. I go to the library usually about twice a week, and I can honestly say that I see more people that look like what feminists claim is the unrealistic body standard. I see more women that look like that than women that look like what the feminists claim should be the standard. You know, the chunky monkeys with the lopsided boobs and all that shit. And the funny thing about it is I think women like that are hot too. I like a chunky monkey. I like chubby women. But I don't, it just doesn't, it does not compute with my pathetic little male brain. Come on. There we go. Why I see how I can see so many women that look in the pretty much the exact way that I'm being told is unrealistic. And I'm just looking at these women thinking, well, if it's unrealistic, then where are these women coming from? Are they androids? Are they androids? And you know, I think what it comes from, in my opinion, is that there's a preference. And there are certain things that a guy might prefer over other things. And and then if what you are, like the way you look, isn't what a guy prefers, it could be upsetting. And I definitely feel that. I, for one, don't look fucking anything like what women prefer. But, you know, there's the little fucking catch-22 in all this, is for all the talk about unrealistic beauty standards, it only ever seems to be about women. That's something I've noticed, and I don't really get that. I see so much discussion about Hollywood setting unrealistic standards for women, but I don't see any problem. I don't see anyone having any problems with every guy apparently having to have fucking a 24-pack and all that shit. So I don't really get it. The only explanation. Now, how do I use my bombs? The only explanation I've ever been able to see, and I don't really agree with this explanation. I think it's fucking stupid and full of shit. But the one explanation I've ever seen, and the funny thing is, I rarely ever see explanations. That's the thing that annoys me about these people, is they say what they want to say. They put out, you know, the statements they want to make about these things, and then if you want them to actually explain themselves, actually, you know, kind of have a dialogue about it, they don't want that. They want you to just accept what they've said and just, you know, bow down to whatever the fuck agenda they want to push. The only explanation I've ever been able to find is, and this actually kind of sickens me, it really pisses me off, is basically the statement that it's okay to over-sexualize men because apparently that's what men want to be. Yeah, that's the explanation I see a lot. That the difference between the over-sexualization of women and the over-sexualization of men. Now, one explanation that I've seen that I can kind of get behind, I can kind of groove with it, is that it's okay because men don't face as much sexism. And I can groove with that. I don't know why I'm saying groove. I don't know where the fuck that came from. I don't at all agree with the idea that men never face sexism. I'm 100% against this bullshit power plus prejudice horse shit that's came out lately, but I can kind of get behind the idea that, you know, men historically have not faced nearly, even remotely, even within the same fucking ballpark as what women have faced. And I get that. I can agree with that. So I can kind of see when they're saying, you know, pushing these things on women is just, you know, more in a long line of things that have been pushed on women, whereas men haven't had to face as much. And I can get behind that. I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. But the other explanation that I see a lot that I just don't agree with at all is basically the idea that when you see like these over-sexualized men, you know, that every guy has to look like fucking Channing Tatum or some shit, which I think he's hot. Especially when Wasn't that him in The Hateful Eight? Yeah, he was hot in that movie. But that's okay because men desire looking like that. Having like the men with like the big muscles and all that shit, it's okay to push that as the standard because that's what men want to look like. Whereas it's not okay to push women being, you know, slim, curvy, you know, dressing provocatively, blah, 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 all the different things, because that's not what women want to look like. And the reason that pisses me the fuck off is, oh, I gotta get over there quick, is basically, how fucking dare you think you have the right to speak for me? You know? We hear all the fucking time about the fucking term mansplaining. And even though I don't think really anyone uses that term correctly anymore, oh, we're still doing this? Okay. I didn't know we were still doing it. Eh? There we go. I don't think anyone really uses that term correctly anymore. It seems to just have kind of become a catch-all term for anything I disagree with. Anytime I don't agree with what a man is saying, it's mansplaining. That's fucking load of shit. Mansplaining, as a term, is plain and simple when a man talks down to a woman and explains something thinking, well, I guess I might as well enlighten her pathetic little female brain. That's what the term means. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It happens all the fucking time. And it's horrible that it happens. But it's not just a catch-all term for anything, a guy having an opinion. That's what it's become. It's become a catch-all term for any time a guy has an opinion on fucking anything. But, anyway, as I was saying, how dare you think you can speak on my behalf? You don't have any right to say, okay, this is what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly how you feel. No, because you fucking don't. You don't got a fucking clue how I feel. You want to know the truth? No, I don't really have any interest in looking like those guys. When I play a game like God of War or something, or like, for instance, recently me playing a lot of Yakuza, I don't have even the slightest interest in looking like those guys. I enjoy the games because I like doing the stuff. I like, you know, going all Groar crazy. How I look while doing it doesn't matter to me. I want to look like fucking Zach Galifianakis. That's who I want to fucking look like. So I don't get where, within the same fucking breath as they just got done complaining about men, you know, thinking they can speak on behalf of women, they then want to turn around and do the exact same thing. You know, that's where I draw this line. People need to realize that if you want equality, you need to accept equality. You don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to cherry pick when equality happens. And if you want to say that a guy can't speak on behalf of a woman and claim to know what she's thinking, then fine. You can't do the same fucking thing to me. I don't have any interest in looking like those big buff men. I think muscles are gross, honestly. If I'm being honest, I think muscles are gross. Now, oops, wrong button. Okay, that's, can't do anything there because I need the, yeah, I'll go back there because I think I can do some shit there. Now that I got my bombs. That was weird. I got stuck for a second. Now can I blow this up? And so, you know, with that excuse obliterated, if there's any, you know, anyone that would consider themselves a hardcore feminist or whatever watching this, tell me. I am, honest to God, curious to hear from you. Why is it okay for every guy to apparently have to look like fucking Matthew McConaughey, but if I so much as glance at anything above a fucking B cup, I'm apparently pushing an unrealistic standard. The two excuses that I gave are not valid enough. The one that I gave that's somewhat valid is the idea that, well, women have faced, you know, a lot more than men. So, you know, they deserve it or whatever. Like, oh, as a man, you ain't got no right to complain about this shit. Just shut up, Mr. Man. And like I said, I don't really agree with that sentiment, but I can kind of see where people are coming from with it. The other one, that one is something that gender wants, that they aspire to, that that like the power fantasy or whatever. I think that's the term they use. But then the other is something that the person doesn't want. No, that's simply not the case. And if you want to say, no, you're wrong, you do, we're now back to you thinking you can actually say what I'm thinking. I mean, I really don't get in what universe it's okay to basically say, this is what you're thinking, I know you better than you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, I'm not speaking on behalf of all men either. There's probably plenty out there that do want to have the big muscles and all that shit. But, and, you know, if you want to speak on behalf of me and say, no, that's what you want to look like, that's your power fantasy, well, then I'll turn around and speak on behalf of your ass and say that there probably are women out there that wish their tits were bigger. You're telling me, you were honest to God telling me that in all of history, there's never been a woman that said, I wish I had a bigger cup. And then you're probably gonna turn that around on me. You're probably gonna think, huzzah, I got him. I got him. Well, no, you don't. You're gonna turn that around on me and try to say, well, yeah, they think that, but they only think that because that's what's been pushed on them. That's what's been pushed on them. No, that's not what I mean. I'm not talking about women that wish that they look different because it's what's been pushed on them. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that never happens. It does, and as I said before, it's sad. It is really sad when anyone, and this is where that pesky little equality that you've been crying for since fucking dawn of time, and, you know, I will stop to say that it is fucking pathetic as hell that it took since the dawn of time for it to start happening. You know, that's horrible. But this is where it comes into play, you know. What? Hey now. Yeah, there are women out there that have been made to feel like they have to look a certain way, and if they don't, then they're not real women, and blah blah blah. And that's not okay. You know what? That's not okay. But the opposite, you know, is not okay either. Shaming a woman. I've actually seen, and I know that people will say, oh, but those are just nut job, fringe. People love to use the word fringe. You know, you either agree with this shit or you don't. And if you don't agree with it, you need to actively denounce it. But I've seen, you know, women out there saying that any woman who has above a certain cup size should have a breast reduction to help fight blah blah blah. And that's where I'm coming from. I don't think that someone should be made to feel bad because they weren't born a certain way. They didn't, their genetics didn't happen to give them a certain something. But, and this is, I think this is the point I've been trying to make the whole time. At the same time, I don't think someone should be made to feel bad if they are that. And I think that's where a lot of feminists try to fudge the facts. I've actually seen people basically trying to claim that these beauty standards don't exist. And there's a difference between saying something's unrealistic and just outright saying it doesn't exist. And what blows my mind is when they say it doesn't exist, where do they think the women they're even pointing at in the first place come from? Like, you look at like someone in a movie or something, you say that's women like that don't exist. But you're pointing at one right now. You're saying the woman you're saying doesn't exist. I don't. That's what I can't understand. That's what I just can't wrap my brain around. Is you're saying, oh, blah blah doesn't exist, but it's there. It exists. He's there. And maybe they're talking about the percentage. Maybe they're talking about like the percentage of women that are born looking, you know, predisposed to look that way, and then the ones that are predisposed to look other ways. And maybe you're right. Maybe the percentages are more skewed. And if one thing that I could definitely get behind, whereas I still can't believe I use that term, but one thing I can groove with is if they're saying that there needs to be some balance, you know? I could definitely get behind that. If they're saying that, you know, for every Scarlett Johansson, there should be, what's that chick's name? She's a plus size lady. I can't think her name, but she was, the last movie I saw her in was The Brothers Grimsby, and she played the wife of the main guy. And don't get me wrong, I think that chick is hot. And if that's what you're saying, if that's what, you know, you're trying to say, that, you know, there needs to be some more balance, we need to stop always casting the, you know, traditionally attractive ones, and, you know, start showing, you know, that yes, women that look this way exist as well. That's fine. I could get behind that. We need more diversity. I can definitely support more diversity in that way. But, and here's where I think there's kind of a schism. I think that there's plenty of feminists out there that's what they want, you know, and they watching this video, that at this point they may be thinking, thank you, that's all we want, and, you know, if that's what you're thinking, then power to you. I support you 100%. But my ranting here is not directed at those more reasonable people, because for everyone like that, there's, as I said, the more far end fucking nut jobs that say shit like, you know, all women above a certain breast size should get breast reductions. And one thing I've noticed is that when they bitch about that, go watch it. Go research it, look into it the way I have. I've noticed a trend. Anytime they talk about unrealistic, you know, breast sizes and stuff, anytime you get them to actually just come out and say what they consider unrealistic, it's always slightly above what they are. And that's one thing I find a little odd, is that you never see feminists bitching about what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's plenty of women out there that, you know, are feminists that do have, you know, ample bosoms. I don't think anyone said bosoms since 1949 or something. But, and then you never see those ones. Those are the ones that always want to talk about the figure. They always want to talk about the salary. I've noticed that of all the things that, you know, feminists focus on, they always tend to shy away from mentioning something that they have. I don't usually see feminists with, I'll just come out and say it, a nice body, bitching about nice bodies. And there probably are saying, yo, I look this way, but you can't, you know, push that as the standard, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, for every reasonable feminist out there, and they do exist, believe it or not, they do exist. that are just saying, you know, we want some more diversity. We want to say, like, okay, you know, women that look like Scarlett Johansson exist. Women that look like Mila Kunis exist. But women that look like this exist as well. And, you know, there's a lot of them, and it doesn't make them ugly. It doesn't make them undesirable. And I can groove with that. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I don't care anymore. I don't know where the fuck it came from. I don't know how it kind of flew into existence, but I'm just gonna keep saying groove because I like it. I can definitely go with that. But there's you definitely see also at the same time a lot of them pushing that, you know, we should eradicate that altogether. And I think that if I could distill what the point I'm trying to make into like a concise statement, and you're probably thinking, could you have done that 40 minutes ago? No. No. Who the fuck do you think I am? Anyone who watches my channel knows I can't do that. Knows that I can't fucking... I wouldn't be me if I didn't rant for 40 minutes trying to get a single point across, you know? But if I could distill my point into a concise statement, that would be that a lot of people are rallying to change the beauty standard. They say, oh, this is the current Hollywood beauty standard. It should be changed. We need to eradicate that and show people that, no, that's not what blah, blah, blah. I think that instead of that, and I think that I might win some people over with this statement. There'll probably be people that, and you know, the kind of people that aren't going to listen to this, they're not the people that are going to listen to reason anyway, so fuck them. But I think instead of that, we should be eradicating beauty standards altogether. I don't think there should be a such thing as a beauty standard. I don't think that should exist. I don't think there should be any one body type that's the standard. I think that we should accept that there is a massive broad spectrum when it comes to the way women and men could look. And as I said earlier, you know, that's where that, you know, pesky equality kind of comes back to bite you in the ass, is when you kind of got to acknowledge that, you know, a lot of them won't acknowledge this, but, you know, men face these problems too. There are a lot of guys out there that are being made to feel horrible because they don't look like fucking Jason Statham. And I love the idea of someone kind of picking up on the fact that I'm throwing out a different name every time. And yes, every name I've thrown out are men I think are attractive. Leave me alone. Including Zach Galifianakis. So just leave me the fuck alone. I don't fucking get. I'm not. Here's the thing. Just in case you're curious, no, I'm not gay. I just have a stern appreciation, an aesthetic appreciation for men. That's what it comes down to. If that makes any... What incoming fluid pattern? Okay. Yep. I kind of knew it was there. But anyway. What the hell was I saying? But yeah, men face the same problems, and yeah, you can, you know, if you want to be that kind of person, if you want to say that, you know, it doesn't matter that men face it because they don't deal with as much sexism, or if you want to be one of those people, you could say they don't deal with any at all. But I don't care. Here's the funny thing is, one thing I've noticed, and I always find this kind of interesting, and no one else seems to notice this, is how quickly feminists like to flip-flop between two statements. And the first is, if you bring up, and I don't personally believe this, I don't like to bring this up because I don't really agree with it. But if you ever say that, like, oh, you know, why does this beauty standard crap matter? Why does the, you know, all these, you know, the kind of things that they're complaining about matter when there are fucking women in the Middle East having their fucking clitorises cut off so they don't cheat on their husbands? And oh, in case you didn't know, yeah, that happens. That actually happens. They will cut it off so they can't feel pleasure, so they're less likely to cheat. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Anytime you bring that up, I feel like feminists have a Wikipedia article on speed dial, and I don't know the term off the top of my head. I think it's like false something or other. But anytime you bring this up, I have seen several times people will paste a link to this Wikipedia article. And it's basically talking about the whole, it's the old children starving in Africa thing. Like, you know, the whole, you can't complain about this because that's going on. That whole thing. And they will say that, and they'll say, you know, that's a, you know, a wrong, an incorrect way of looking at it, to say that, oh, you shouldn't complain about this because that's going on, that you shouldn't be able to complain about this because something worse is going on over here. They love to throw that out there. Oh, we got a boss battle coming up. They love to throw that out there as like their go-to way of saying that, no, our problems do matter. And that's fine. I agree with that. I don't like the old children starving in Africa thing. I don't like the idea that one group's problems shouldn't matter because another group has it worse. But here's what confuses me. How is it that you throw that out? Yeah, morph boss a lot. Alright. And then scan Mr. Man up there. I don't like that the bosses scan slower. Can you? There we go. Flagra. His name is Flagra. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. It got all dizzy for a sec. Oh. There we go. I knew there was something I had to do. Anyway, I don't get how that is like something that they say, but then they'll turn right around and say that any you know, negative things a man can face doesn't matter because of what women face. That's what confuses me. Isn't that the same idea? Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me, female explain to me why I'm wrong. I'd love it. But it just seems to me that saying, okay, did he just put that right back down? Did he just stick that right back down? Oh, I know. I bet that's why I gotta stun him. That's the point of stunning him. So I can get this taken care of real quick. Anyway, isn't saying, oh, the, sexism that, you know, the negative things that, women face in America don't matter because of what women face in other countries. Isn't saying that pretty much the exact same thing as saying that the negative things men face don't matter because of what women face? Explain that to me. Explain to me how those are not similar. Because they seem similar to me. To say, oh, you know, Hollywood's body images don't matter. It's not worth bitching about because women in fucking Somalia or fucking whatever are having this happen to them. It just seems to me that saying that is the exact same thing. I like how he just smacks that right the fuck back down like, bitch, please. that's to me the exact same thing as saying that, you know, any body image problems that men could face don't matter because women have it worse. And I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying women don't have it worse. I'm just saying that those are the same thing. They're both the same idea. So yeah. That's my opinion for the entire fucking episode. I think plenty of guys are made to feel inadequate by women because they don't have a certain body type. They don't have, you know, and I don't think that's okay. It's not okay when it happens to women either. Not okay. Get up there. Yeah. Okay, one more. One more. One more. There we go. Like I said, if you think I'm fucking stupid and full of shit, go ahead and explain to me why. Explain to me why, you know, all the... Oh, that's why, motherfucker. Explain to me why all the many times in my life that I've been told by a girl that, you know, I'm not cute enough, I'm not, you know, I'm not muscular enough or whatever. Explain to me how that's not the same thing as, you know, what you're complaining about. I don't know. I'm mostly just full of shit. That's the thing about me, is I fully recognize how fucking full of shit I am. And I'm okay with it. Ah, fuck a duck. I didn't scan him, did I? Did I scan him? I don't think I did. Oh well. Like I said, I'm not really that concerned with my percentage. Yay. And whatnot. The fuck's that? Love how she just closed her eyes like, take me, Jesus. Okay. I got shoulder balls now. Ah, the various suit. I can go to the heaty areas. World Gallery. Oh, yeah. Unlocked the World Galilean. Can I not go to that? Invulnerable to weapon fire. Why? I get that they're just trying to keep me from going back and they want me to proceed that way. But what makes that, out of everything, invulnerable? Yeah. That's my distillation of everything I'm attempting to make come out of my face and be words in my mouth. Is that, how about instead of rallying against what the beauty standard is, you rally against the existence of it in the first place, and let people have their preferences. Okay, there's there's nothing wrong with, it's wrong to shame someone because they don't meet what you want them to meet. But at the same time, it's also wrong to shame someone for having something that they prefer in the first place. If you ask a guy to describe his ideal woman, he shouldn't have to, that description shouldn't have to cater to what you want it to cater to. It should be his ideal woman. And no, he has no right to tell a woman that she's, less of a person or whatever because she doesn't meet that. That's not okay. But having a preference doesn't make you a bad person, because I've kind of learned myself that women sure as fuck have preferences, but apparently their preferences are a-okay. Hello, goober balls.
Recorded to logbook.
I'm gonna end the episode now, and I'm going to. Oh dear. Let's do that again and actually read it. Electrical energy. All right, let's just wait until he. Boop. So yeah, I'm gonna end the episode now, and I'm going to stop talking about this subject. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I enjoyed having a channel. The feminists got it shut down. I'm sorry. Goodbye.